My name is Carl Robertson. It's my privilege on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, led by President Mr. Joe D'Annunzio, the 400 members of the Chamber, and the President and CEO of the Chamber, Bonnie Grady, to welcome you all here to the primary election forum. The primary election is April 26th. The early voting starts on the 14th and ends on the 21st of April, and that is at the Central Administration Building of the Cecil County Government, where you can vote early. And with that, many of the national, obviously this year the national race has received much publicity and still does, as the number of delegates that the leader has in both the Republican and the Democrat are the big issue. And with that, we have some Senate races and congressional races, no statewide races this year. And that gets a lot of the coverage. But I would argue that the elections that matter the most to the 100,000 people living in Cecil County are local elections. That's where the nitty-gritty work gets done. That's where you can see government at work every single day. So the first thing I want to do is congratulate anybody who has the will and has the courage to file to run for an office, because it can be a humiliating experience. It's hard work, and with it, and you put your entire trust in the citizens of Cecil County. So before I introduce one person, let's give them all a round of applause. This evening, we're going to start off with the Council District 1 and District 5 candidates. Then we'll move to the Board of Education District 2 candidates. And then we'll take an intermission, and then we'll come back with the 4 candidates for the Republican County Executive ticket. We are not having a forum for any race that is not contested. There's only one who will be introduced later. There's only one candidate as a Democrat for the county executive. Therefore, there's no reason to have a forum. If you vote Democratic, you have one choice. You can vote or not, or write some land. I don't mean that to be funny. I'm just saying that's the way. I can't be funny, so anyway. The District 1 Board of Education race has 2 people filed. Well, the top 2 vote getters move on to the general election in November. Therefore, District 1, both those candidates will be introduced, but they will not participate in the forum. The purpose for this evening is for you to see those races where you will have a choice, given if you're a registered Republican or registered Democrat, you will have a choice on August 26th. I would caution, do not base your decision solely on what you hear tonight. I'm not suggesting you would, but don't. You need to study the candidate. You need to see if they have social media accounts. You need to contact these candidates, and you need to make sure that your concerns, your questions, are answered by them. It's an important decision on April 26th, and we hope that the Chamber, by hosting this event, can be one small part of helping you know who is running. Before I bring the first panel up, we have audience participation this evening. And we have 2 members of the Chamber, Mr. D'Annunzio and Mr. Tomey, who are our timers this evening. And candidates will get 120 seconds or 60 seconds or 30 seconds to answer or respond to questions. So when there are 30 seconds left, Joe will put up the orange card. Is that orange?
No, it's yellow.
Yellow. The yellow card. That means there's 30 seconds left. When there is no time left, he's going to put up the red card. What's it say? Come on, reverse. The expectation is that the candidates, there will be no last second to get their last thought in. There will be no extending the time period. We respect your time too much for that. Candidates are expected to answer succinctly, and when the applause starts, we're getting ready to go on to the next question. We have 3 individuals who have volunteered to be our questioners this evening. First of all, we have the Senior Vice President of WSFS Bank, Mr. Bob Prosgrove. Give him a hand. We have the President of the Cecil County Girls and Boys Club, Ms. Kathy Kunda. And we have Mr. Mike Bradford, who's in charge of government relations for W.L. Moore. Please welcome him. In the audience this evening, we have elected officials who are not running for office this time, and I will just briefly introduce them. First of all, we have Ms. Joyce Bowlesby, County Council. Joyce, we have President of the Board of Education, Dawn Branch. Vice President, Wendy Winterskill. Wendy. And Board of Education member, Bill Nowles. Bill. To my knowledge, we have 3 members of the Republican Central Committee this evening. Robert Amato. Diane Carabetta. Kathy Coon. If there's anybody else, see me at intermission, and I will, oh, we have the Mayor of Elton, Mr. Rob Hall. Okay, I'd like the candidates for Council District 1 and Council District 5 to take your seat, please. Let's give them a lot of encouragement. Mr. Tom Cole is not able to be with us this evening in a personal medical issue. And with that, we have had to change our format for this section, so therefore, I'll let the candidates please listen to the instructions of those who ask the questions, and with it, they'll tell you how much time you have. You already know that Mr. D'Annunzio is going to put up a 60-second sign, a 30-second sign, and the red one, which means you should wrap it up. At this point, you will have 2 minutes to introduce yourself to the audience, to talk about why you're running, what your priorities would be. If elected, we'll start with District 1 candidate, Mr. Bob Meffley. Bob?
Thank you very much. My name is Bob Meffley. I'm running for County Council, District 1. A long time ago, moved to Maryland, came from Ohio. My dad was commander at the Bainbridge Naval Training Center, which some of you might remember. Went to school in public schools in Cecil County. Went to Cecil Community College, which then was Community College. Drafted, went in the Army, served my time, came out, and opened up H&B Plumbing. I've been the owner of H&B Plumbing for 37 years. I know what it's like in a tough economy to make things work. I know what it's like when you look at an employee and say, I don't have enough work for you, what are we going to do the rest of the week? I understand the little guy in business, because if the little guy is happy, the big businessman is happy, and I think that's very important. My issues are, no cards yet? Good. My issues are, number 1, public safety. Number 1, public safety should be everybody's concerned in this audience. Public safety is the police department, sheriff's department, EMT, ambulance, those. Second thing would be education. We need to take care of our teachers. Sometimes we forget the teachers are they're not just a school. The teachers, their mothers, their fathers, their parents, teachers do a lot. I think what we need to do is take a hard look at what we do in the county. Third thing would be transportation. We need to move people around. We have people that want to come to school. We have people that want to do things, outside activities. We don't offer them the services. Transportation is awesome, but now what we need to do is take a hard look and see if we can expand it a little bit. As I said, my name is Bob Meffley. I'm running for County Council, 1st District. Thank you very much.
Mr. Meffley is running in District 1 against Mr. Cole. So even though there are 3 people sitting up here, you have District 1 and you have District 5, and that's the race on August 26th. Running in District 5, Ms. Jackie Gregory. Ms. Gregory.
I want to thank the Chamber, first of all, for hosting this event tonight, and I want to thank all of you who took the time to come out. This is a great crowd. My name is Jackie Gregory, and I'm running for County Council District 5 seat. Almost 20 years ago, my husband and I chose Cecil County as the place where we wanted to make our home and raise our family. I've worked in the education field for 17 years. I have a master's degree in education, and in addition to being a public school teacher, I was self-employed for a number of years, providing online educational services to kids who were homebound due to illness, and I did so using technology. I became very involved with local government about 7 years ago because I was concerned about the future of my kids. Like Governor Hogan, who started a grassroots organization in Maryland to bring about change, I realized it was my own backyard where I could make the biggest impact. So I started a local grassroots organization here as well. And through my leadership in that organization, I started attending local meetings, researching issues, and working to provide citizens with more opportunities to interact with their local government. And I advocated for Citizens Budget Advisory Committee, Citizens Corner, and we also sponsored forums just like this one. I've consistently fought for local property rights and have fought for more local control over our county's future. We live in a great area, a beautiful area with a lot of unrealized potential. For far too long, many of our citizens have had to travel into other areas for jobs. It's no secret we lack sufficient infrastructure for job growth, and we need to put policies in place which facilitate job growth, bring companies in which add value to our community, and create an environment in which families can thrive. I intend to streamline government regulations and processes to be more responsive to you, the citizens. Once elected, I'll help Cecil County reach its full potential. It will be my pleasure to have this opportunity to serve you full-time in this position, and I respectfully...
Thank you, Ms. Gregory. Also running in District 5, Mr. Paul Trapani.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you all for coming and giving me the opportunity to be heard. My name is Paul Trapani, and I'm the owner of the Sunset Cafe and the Boat Warehouse at Harbor North Marina. I'm running for county council because I love Cecil County, and I'm going to do something to improve the quality of life for everyone. I also will intend to protect property rights and personal freedoms. The most important thing to me are strengthening the existing business core and decreasing taxes so that the working class has more disposable income. I also plan to rigorously attack the drug problem by working with law enforcement people to eliminate the flow of public funds and excessive prescriptions, legal prescriptions, into the drug culture. I've had the privilege of serving on the Budget Advisory Board for 2 years. It's given me a thorough understanding of the budget and where the areas can be trimmed without reducing services or lose personnel. I intend to support the schools because, as has been shown, the schools expenses actually aren't expenses; they are an investment. Also, we need to continue to grow our viable agricultural industry. Thank you.
As for an old man, I get to sit down once in a while. Thank you, Mr. Trapani. Now, candidates, what will happen is our 3 questioners will start. And when one question is completed, we will not go through introductions. The next questioner will start the question. In each case, somebody different will lead off, followed, and that order will rotate. Our first question this evening is Mr. Michael Ratchford.
Mr. Meffley, good evening. Candidates often cite the need to eliminate waste in government spending. If elected, how will you ensure that taxpayers' dollars are spent wisely? You have 60 seconds, please.
Well, first thing I do with government, what I would do is see where the money is going. What I would like to do, if elected, what I'd like to do is actually peer into the government, peer into each of the sections, see what they do. I want to see there's no redundancy in the government. I think what we see now, we haven't had a lot of building in the county, but yet I haven't seen a reduction of county employees. I don't necessarily want anybody to lose their job, but I think the people should be shifted around so we don't have waste. Also, what I'd like to see in government is I'd like to see the permit issues changed. I would like to see what happens with permits. When somebody comes in for a simple permit, it shouldn't be a 7 to 14-day turnaround. It should be, you should be able to do it online, the money's held in escrow in the county, and the permit is back. What we need to do is we just need to speed up the government policy. I think that would help a lot with what you're talking about.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Trapani, same question. I'll repeat it if that's helpful. Candidates often cite the need to eliminate waste in government spending. If elected, how will you ensure that taxpayers' dollars are spent wisely?
As I said earlier, I've had 2 years' experience on the Citizens Budget Advisory Board, and in that time, we were able to devise a budget that without any increases. I can tell you that there probably is not a government agency that can't be trimmed in some fashion. The best way, what I would like to do is become more involved in the day-to-day operations of the individual agencies so I can see how their efficiency can be improved. And with improved efficiency, we'll have happier employees and more productivity. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Gregory, same question. Candidates often cite the need to eliminate waste in government spending. If elected, how will you ensure that taxpayers' dollars are spent wisely?
Okay. We use technology for many things nowadays, and I think we're underutilizing that in our county government. I know in some jurisdictions, they allow people to actually go online and apply for permits. And what happens here is people have to do that in person. That costs businesses time, money, which gets passed on to the taxpayer. So I think we need to utilize technology to make things more efficient. I also believe that we need to make sure we have a lot of collaboration in local government so that we're not doing things twice that should be, different departments should be working together on. We also need to fight back against unfunded mandates that cost us more money as well, and I have a history of doing that. Reducing taxes and regulations will grow businesses, and what we need to do is grow jobs in Cecil County because that will expand our tax base and allow us to have more tax revenue and improve everyone's quality of life. So I think we need to focus more on our priorities and be careful about where we're spending.
Mr. Trapani, do you support medical cannabis laws, and will you support the location of legal entities associated with that law in Cecil County? Why or why not?
Could you repeat the question, please?
I'm sorry, I'm losing my voice. Do you support medical cannabis laws, and will you support the location of legal entities associated with that law in Cecil County? Why or why not?
Yes, I would support cannabis laws. I don't know a lot about the medical benefits, but from what I see in other states, it seems to be working. That's all I know.
Okay. Ms. Gregory, you want me to repeat the question?
No, that's okay. Medical cannabis right now is being handled at the state level and is being brought into all the counties. I think that when we think about this, it's like any other drug. Any drug has potential for abuse, but it also has its uses as well. I think there needs to be proper oversight, and we need to work with our elected officials and our delegation to make sure that there's proper oversight when it is brought into Cecil County. I'm not real comfortable because we already have a reputation in Cecil County, and I think that kind of adds to it. But it does have legitimate uses. I think we need to have a lot of education and learn a lot about that and just make sure that there's proper oversight and that we are working, like I said, closely with our delegation on that.
Thank you. Mr. Meffley?
Well, I have to agree. I think that it is handled by the state. I think right now Cecil County has their hands full with what they have. If you look at now what we have with our clinics, with what we're using within the clinics, we don't even handle that very well. And the reason we don't is because of the education of some of the people that run the institutions. I think what we need to do is get back and have people that are in charge of programs like this or in charge of drugs like this. We need people that are going to go ahead and actually can give the counseling to the people, not just something that, well, here it is, the state says use it, use it.
Thank you.
Ms. Gregory, should Cecil County be in the animal control business? Please explain.
Okay. I think the best option for things like animal control is to have private industry run it. I think that this has been an issue for such a long time and has so much controversy surrounding it that the local government is between a rock and a hard place on this issue, to be totally honest. And it was bundled years ago when the contract was first given out through the former Board of Commissioners at the last minute without proper vetting, without proper oversight. So I personally believe that it's better to have private industry. We don't want to grow government. It just adds costs, ongoing costs for us. So if we could work in a partnership with private industry to do that, I think that is the best scenario for taxpayers.
Mr. Meffley, the same question.
Well, my opinion is, I think that we're okay where we're at. I think that what we're doing is a good thing. I think the purchase of the center is a good thing. I think that the medical center that we purchased was already set up for animal control. I'm in favor of the county doing it. Reason being is because when you have outside entities, it seems like everything goes along good, and oh, by the way, we need another 18,000 or we need another 20,000. I think if we control our budget and control the animal care, I think we'll be a lot better. There's too many groups out there that care about animals. There's too many groups that say, I want to help, I want to help. Well, the county would let them help. I think right now the small groups are struggling on their own. So I think with the county involved, with the county facility, I think that's the direction that we should move in.
Thank you very much. Mr. Meffley, Mr. Trapano, I'm sorry.
I also favor the county running the animal control. In my speaking to my fellow citizens, I've never seen a more hot topic than animal control. And whenever there's a meeting for that, there's nothing will attract more people than a meeting about animals or dogs. The facility is there, buying it and maintaining it should be cheaper than having a for-profit organization run it. And it also gives us much better control on a day-to-day basis.
Thank you.
Mr. Meffley, County Council is responsible for examining and approving the annual operating and capital budgets as proposed by the county executive. How will you determine if the budget proposal is an effective and efficient plan to address Cecil's needs and consistent with the county's strategic plan?
Well, that's actually a good question. What I'd have to do, as I said earlier, I think you got to meet with the department heads to see what's going on. When you're at a county council and everybody, from what I understand, everybody brings things to you, they bring the budget to you, the county executive brings it to you. You have to read it and say, okay, this one gets this one gets that one. The best plan that I have is I went out and visited different agencies. I've been to the towns, I've been to the mayors, I've talked to the administrators, I've talked to the Board of Education, I've talked to the police department. I think that's what you need to do. Then I think you get a good determination of what you can do with the county's money, where it really needs to go, where it doesn't need to go. I don't think anybody should be there saying, well, we need money. Oh, by the way, we need $2 million, but we're not going to tell you where it goes. I think it should be broken down so the average citizen knows. They need to know where the money's going. I think that's very important.
Thank you. Mr. Trapani, same question, please.
I've had the opportunity to talk to each and every agency head and their top personnel. And in my tenure on the advisory board, the budget advisory board, I've never had one of them come to me and say that they wanted a reduction in their budget. The only way, without actually being a part and seeing on a day-to-day basis and talking to the people in each agency, that's how you'll know what's available, where the fat is, and how it can be trimmed. I also propose that the agencies all start to work a little more closely together so that our monies can be better spent.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Brager, same question.
Yes, I've taken the time over the past few years to really study our local budget, and I think it's important that you mention the strategic plan because that is our roadmap for our priorities. I think we need to focus on our priorities. Sometimes we get away from that and we forget that our government is run on the backs of every business owner and every taxpayer, every family. So I think we need to really focus in on our priorities and separate our needs from wants, just like we do with our family budgets. Our funds are limited, and our main goal that we need to have is to grow jobs in Cecil County, because without jobs, we'll never improve our quality of life. So that needs to be our top priority as we look at the budget. How are we going to grow jobs? How are we going to bring businesses into Cecil County? I think we can also use technology as well to improve our budgeting process, make it more transparent to the taxpayer, and to also make it more efficient as well.
Thank you.
Mr. Trapani, the council is comprised of 5 elected members at large, but representing 5 very different geographic districts across Cecil County. While some needs are the same, there are specific differences that need to be addressed in certain parts of the county. If elected, how will you work with your 4 colleagues to balance district needs with county needs?
There may be different needs in each of the districts, but the primary needs are very, very similar. I believe that when you address the primary needs, and that would be like the quality of life, when you reduce taxes, when you reduce taxes and make your county a people-friendly county, more people will want to move into the county. It will increase our revenues, and the quality of life will be improved for everyone. I think it's more important to fight the crime and fight the drugs than to worry about individual counties. Individual districts are very, very similar.
Thank you. Ms. Gregory, the same question?
Yes, we have a strategic plan, and our community, even though we do have different needs in different parts of the county, we are one community. And I actually like the fact that we run at large, because someone, even though Rising Sun is not my district, someone in Rising Sun can call me and expect their needs to be addressed by me as a council person. And I think that's a good thing. We are a board of 5 people. Our job is to collaborate and work together for the good of the county, and I think that's what we need to keep in mind, and that's what I intend to do when I'm elected.
Thank you. Mr. Meffley.
Well, along the same lines, what I believe is, as I said earlier, I like to get the mayors involved, the mayor's administration of the towns involved, along with the county, to see where the programs are going, to see what we're going to do, to see what they really need, what the spending is going to be. I think the county council, Cecil County is one group. Just because you're a District 1 doesn't mean you can't vote for District 5. I think we're all one team. Basically, they just gave us titles because we live in a certain area. But Cecil County is one. I think we have to think as one. I think we have to vote as one. I think we need to see what the needs of the county are, how we can improve, how we can move forward. Cecil County has a lot to offer, and I think we need to take advantage of it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Gregory, you spoke earlier about the need to create jobs in Cecil County. So what will you do to make Cecil County attractive to new businesses and supportive of current businesses already located in the county?
Okay. I think it's no secret that we lack infrastructure, and we've been talking about this for as long as I can remember. I think we need to stop talking about our infrastructure needs and bridge the gap and do something about it. I really think we need to take action on that, because businesses depend on that to come into Cecil County, and we need to give businesses a reason to be here. We also need to reduce taxes. We have a business property tax that affects businesses here in Cecil County. Some jurisdictions don't have it, so that's something we need to take a look at possibly reducing or eliminating. We also need to look at our income tax rate, which we have not changed for a number of years. We haven't really looked at that. And we need to reduce regulations to make it more business friendly. We are in competition with Delaware right over the line. We need to give people a reason to come to Cecil County, so we need to be competitive any way that we can. Reduce taxes, reduce regulations, put in the infrastructure that we need, focus on our priorities, and relieve families and taxpayers.
Thank you. Mr. Meffley, same question, please.
Okay, first of all, I think what we need to do, I think we need to sell Cecil County. I think we need to go out and market Cecil County. I think there's a great market for our county. We're right in between Baltimore and Philadelphia. We're right off I-95 border. We have a lot going for us, and what do? The towns build up their infrastructure and they stop. There's nothing in between. What we need to do is utilize our infrastructure. Elkton has infrastructure. It's sitting there empty. Perryville does, Northeast does, Rising Sun does. We can create jobs by just lowering permit fees, inviting businesses in, put fees on the back burner, let them come in, let them get their business going, and then start to pay their fees. I think sometimes what we do, we tell people what we want to come in and they're scared and they run away. We really need to focus on jobs in Cecil County, and that's how we bring it in. We have to bring it in through advertising, through marketing, through whatever. But the problem is, we just have a tendency to not do that. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Trapani, same question, please.
We do need to streamline our, the process for permitting and establishing business. When I opened my restaurant, it took me 5 years to get through the legal ramifications and the requirements, and it even took me a lawsuit. The businesses today need to be strengthened. There are the regulations, the state increases. 2 years ago, my state unemployment insurance rate rose 700%. The regulations, the taxes are struggling or are strangling our local businesses. We need to, if we streamline the business operations, the businesses will flourish, they'll grow, they'll hire more people. We continue to develop a good school system, and we will draw families. The increased families will draw.
That concludes our questions for the council candidates. And with that, Mr. Meffley, you have 60 seconds to summarize your candidacy.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I'd like to thank the chamber. I'd like to thank the college. Thank you folks for being here. Running for office is quite an experience, as you can tell. This is something new for me, but something I want to do for a long time. What I'd like to do is go back on the education thing. I think we talk about drug problems, we've talked about education tonight, we talk about jobs. What we need to do is work with our youth. I think if we work with the youth in the society, a lot of problems are going to go away. Number one, we give no credit to the libraries. A lot of people are opposed to the libraries. The libraries are a learning center. They're open 24/7. They're open in the summertime for education. We need to take a hard look at the things we have. We have a lot of good things in the county. I will work hard for the county. I'll do everything I can. I've been to every group there is now, and I'm not going to stop until election's over. And remember 2 things. Vote on April 26th, and vote for Bob Meffley for council. Thank you very much.
Mr. Trapani, you have 60 seconds to summarize your candidacy.
Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody again for coming. I'd like to, I agree with Bob. It's a little different here. I've never been in such a situation with the lights. I love Milborn Theater. I think they've done a terrific job. I think Cecil College is a landmark. It's something Ceciltonians should be proud of. As far as one of my favorites is schools, the libraries, and Cecil College, and the opportunity to give our further education to our students. Thank you.
Ms. Gregory, you have 60 seconds.
Yes. Thank you all for coming tonight. Thank you, Chamber, for hosting this event. I just want to tell you, you don't have to be a marina owner to know which way the wind is blowing in Cecil County. As your representative, I'll approach issues from a common sense conservative viewpoint and listen to you, the citizens, whether you're a business owner, a farmer, or just the guy down the street who wants to put a garage on his house. That's exactly what I've been doing over the last 7 years. When Jim Mullen, who's Mr. Trapani's treasurer, supported a restrictive tier map which robs citizens of their property rights, I was there standing with the farmers and other property owners in defense of their property rights. When the state passed gun legislation which infringed our Second Amendment rights, I worked with a council member to draft a local resolution to reaffirm our right to bear arms in Cecil County. When some previous local commissioners were creating an anti-job growth climate, I stood up to them. I became involved because I have 3 children and invested in their future in Cecil County. I want them to enjoy the freedoms I've enjoyed, and I want them to have the opportunities and choices which will enable them to
I think they set the standard for the first panel. They did a great job. Let's thank them again. Mr. Neffley and Mr. Cole are running for County Council and Republican ticket, District 1. Ms. Gregory and Mr. Trapani are running Council District 5, and they will be on the ballot on the April 26th election. So we're going to have a quick transition. I'm going to ask you not to leave the auditorium. We'll have an intermission in a few minutes, and we're going to transition to the Board of Ed. Thank you. You can talk.